Ois Daled. So we're going to continue now to explain the last part of the pasuk that we started the Mamer with Va'aya Etzlo Amon. So over there it says the Misachekes Lefonov Va'aya Etzlo Va'aya Shashuim Yom Yom Misachekes Lefonov B'choleis. So the pasuk continuing over there. We'll explain now that part of the pasuk. What does it mean? Misachekes Lefonov B'choleis. She plays before him. This is referring to the Torah, that the Torah is always in the level of Misachekes at all times. What does all times include? So when you're reading Kaheles in a Yesh, Chof Ches Itim, there are 28 times in the pasuk Kaheles. There's a time to laugh, there's a time to cry, there's a time to love, there's a time to hate, there's a time to hug, there's a time to not hug. So there are 28 Yesh Chof Ches Itim, 28 times. Now, some of them, half of them are Yudalad L'Torah, Chulu, that there is 14 for the good, and then you have equally another 14, some are the good, and some of the bad. So we're trying to say, Misachekes Lefonov B'chol Eis, the Torah is always there, whether in the good time or the bad time, the Chol Eis on all the Itim. Explains, Echad Mehem, one of those times of the good and Chulum, and the other side, is what it says in the pasuk, Eis Lechabek, the Eis Lirchoik Mechabek. There is a time to hug, and then there's a time to distance yourself, not to hug. That's, what does it mean? There's a time to hug. There's a time that the Eibishter hugs us. Hugs us means that the Eibishter holds on to us, and he doesn't allow us to leave him. There's a certain time, but there's a time which Hashem, there's not such an Eisrot. But yet, Misachek is the fun of B'choleis. Let's see. Pirush. Sometimes there is a time of will above that it becomes in a way of a hug. The Knesset Yisrael, the source of the neshamas, are hugged with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that is, is like one who's hugging his friend from his back. He doesn't let him leave. He's holding on to him. So to speak, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is hugging Yisrael. Like the pasuk says, I love you, says Hashem. Or the pasuk we say, the davening, we say, his love don't turn away from us forever. Always connect us. So that the person shall not be separated, should always be close to Hashem and not separated from Hashem, God forbid. Just that it was that it was face to face. In other words, as we said before, that we also faced Hashem. Just like Hashem faced us, we faced Hashem. That also from below, not that only that Hashem gave us the panim, but we gave Hashem the panim too. Everything was b'chinas panim. Even the back became included in the panim. Everything is just the panim. I know what it means is that Shagam Nefesh Habahabis. That also the animal soul is turned around. Means with both your Yetzerim, with both the Yetzer, which means that everything to the Yetzer, which is the level of Ocher, also became Ponim, also B'shnei Yetzerecha, also serving Hashem. V'zohu Yemin Hashem Oisochoy. This is what the pasuk says: the right hand of Hashem, the right hand that hugs that gives the chibur. Oisa choyil is successful, meaning holds on to the. I'm going to explain that the word choyil is 2 times 24. There's 24 letters in the words Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Elolam Vod. So 2 times 24 is 48, which is choyil, 48, which means that when you have all of your the nefesh abahamis as well as the nefesh alikis, everybody, that's the level of Yemin Hashem Yisachol. Ba'im Beitz Chaim Shares the Perik base. Over there it says the base Pa'amim Chodala the Oisus, that twice of the 24 letters that Sheyesh B'Pasuch Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Elolam Vod. The Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Elolam Vod has 24 letters, but 2 times, because we say Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Elolam Vod twice, once in the morning, Krishma Shachris V'Arvis, of Shachris and Arvis. Zehu Inyan, this is the idea of Choyil. This is in Chaim. Because Choyil is 48, 2 times 24 is 48. Velochin Nikro Knesset Yisrael Eishes Choyil. That's what we call, because of that, we're called Eishes Choyil. Ba'im HaShekos HaPosuk Samtik HaTkoy. Inyan Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Elolam. So what is Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Elolam Vod? And the Kabbalah's El Malchus Shemayim Ubitla Yesh, that is accepting the yoke of the heavenly kingdom to subjugate and the Bitla Yesh. And therefore, V'zeu Yimin Hashem Oisechoyil. That is the right of Hashem, is Oisechoyil, because you get the Nefesh Abahamis, you get everybody involved in the love to Hashem. So that is the time when we say Eis L'chabik, the Eibishter hugs us. That becomes the level of Panim B'Panim. Omnam Begolus, but during exile, Hu B'chinas, over there is the level of Eis L'rochik Mechabik. It's a time when it's distant from the hugging, which means Shein Eis Rotzin, when there is not that time of Rotzin, because we're in Golus. That's the man of Golus. Asai rochik melchabe, then he's distant from hugging. Vazai, a named him Knesset Yisrael Makodesh Baruch Hu Parav Eponim. That we don't say stay with Hashem in a way of Parav Eponim, which means the Hainu. What it means is ain't veikus hanefesh belakim chayim b'chinas Ponim mamish, that our cleaving, the cleaving of the soul in the living God, is not in a way of Ponim mamish, which would be al derech kol sheidu levav v'chulu, quoted earlier. Like the pasuk says, I'm totally expiring to Hashem. It's not at that level. Yes, leitainu b'milid alma. He has pleasure in worldly matters. It's not totally devoted to Hashem. It's not everything. Hagam sheyesh lerotzin laHashem. Although he also has a want for Hashem, but it's not a punishing want. His want to Hashem is only in a achoraim way, in a backwards way. As we said earlier, that just the wanting, that's the back. That's the inner. So you don't have that tainug, you have the rotze, but no tainug. And the tainug you have in worldly matters as well. So therefore your connection to Hashem is only b'chinas achoraim. So I was going to explain, this is the meaning of the pasuk. Lama sashiv yadcha. Why should you return your hand? B'yimincha, and your right hand, bekerev cheikecha chalei. Bekerev cheikecha means from cheikecha chalei, remove, but cheikecha means the Eibishter removes his right hand from the level of Torah. So in other words, Torah has some times in which it's be his galus, openly we have the Eibishter's right hand. The Eibishter's right hand, the Eibishter's giluyim, we can find in Torah. But sometimes during the time of galus, the Yidden are davening to the Eibishter. Over the Melech says until him, why should you take away your yamin from the chukim? He says like this, Chekecho, it's read chekecho, but v'chukecho ksiv, but the writing is chukecho. So basically, we can also take away. Chekecho means your bosom pocket, the chayk, Yoshev Yodel lechekek by Moshe. So, but here it means chukim. Chekecho chukecho ksiv. What is chukecho? Your chukim. Hainu HaTorah, Shehi Chukas Hashem, that is the Torah, which is the Chukah of the Eibishter Chukecho, Bakoshas Knesset Yisrael. So what we're asking, Lama Soshiv Necho, is the request of Knesset Yisrael, Sheis Gala Yemina Yisbarech, that Hashem's right hand should be revealed, it should not be hidden and obscure in the Chukkah. Because you have the Eibishter's right hand in Torah, but sometimes in Torah it's hidden. We're asking the Eibishter, it should not be hidden in Torah. That there is time that it is it, because we're saying to Hashem, Lama, in other words, Hashem should reveal, should not be hidden. It means sometimes it's hidden. What does it mean that sometimes it's hidden? There is a light in Torah, which is the light of creation, and it's a powerful light. With Torah, you can look and see things in a very, very powerful way, but it's hidden in the Torah. You have to be able to see in Torah that light which is in the Torah. Sometimes there's a time we see it. There's certain tzaddikim that look at the Torah and they see from the Torah, they see everything. So that is the time when it's open, when Hashem is open. In Golus, it's a little harder. So he brings up, so this is similar to the saying of our sages in the message memory, that the light that was created on the first day, such a powerful light that you can see from one end of the world to the other end of the world. The Eibishter saw that the world isn't fitting for that light. So he hid it from the tzaddikim. So where did he hide it? He hid it in the Torah. And this is also the light, Shayimin. You say Yimincha, the right hand. What is Shayimin? Shu Chesed Elyon. That is the supreme Chesed. Shu B'chinas Nahira Kadmo. That is that first light we're talking about. Nivra B'yem Rishon, the early light. Ugonus B'kerev Chuka Yuha Torah. That's hidden in the Torah. That great light is hidden in the Torah. So moving on, I said, Isa B'Zoyer Soif. Cheli Gimel Davshin Hey Amud Aleph. In the Zohar, there's a story there. Sha'amar Rabbi Chaim says, V'ano Chamina. He says, I did see it. So he can see it, the light, because why? Because he can see from the Torah. Because he was able, that it's revealed to him through Torah. That light which is hidden in Torah, he was able to tap in. Adam would look in it from one end, Adam to the other end. So he was able to tap into that light in the Torah, because we said the Eibishter hid it in the Torah. Okay, no, that's what he says. I actually saw it. So you have the Yamin Hashem, which is the light from the other light in Torah. Asking, why should Hashem take away that light? We want that light in Torah. Zoshikos is also the Pasuk says in Tilma, says, Yamin Hashem Reimeima, Yamin Hashem Oisechoyim. The right hand of Hashem is exalted, and the right hand Oisechoyim. Sometimes Hashem's right hand is Reimeima, is aloof, is higher. But sometimes it descends in Oisei Choyel. Kitomid Yitzave Aleinu Hashem Aleinu Chazal. For always Hashem has His kindness over us. And also V'yimin Hashem Netuya Aleinu. It's always the right hand of Hashem is stretched out over us. The Eibush is always protecting His right as well. However, sometimes it is higher the person's soul, you can't tap into it. Like but it's hidden in the Torah that Yimin Hashem. Sometimes it descends and extends below to the soul of the person. Then it does the chayil, as we said before, 2 times 24, it comes down in the level of Baruch Shem Katuchus Alavot. Lochein Omar Hakosuf Mincha Mikerev Cheikecha Chalei. Your right hand, remove it from the Torah. In other words, it shouldn't be only hidden in the Torah. We should be able to also tap into it. Should not dress up and be hidden in Torah. To be hidden there. But rather take it out from the obscurity of the revelation. Gilu Yamin v'Chesed Hashem Ya'avot Kul B'Nefesh. So that the revelation of the Yamin Chesed Hashem should be in the heart of the person. It shouldn't be hidden in the Torah, but it should be Oisei Choyel. It should be come down to the person. So during the Golus, we said before, is the time when there is difficulties. It's the time the Rachek Merchabek is not when we're hugged. But here we're saying about Torah that the Torah is all times there for us. But at every time and time, whether we're at the level when it's the time to hug, or we're at the time when it's distant to Mechabek, so we still say about the Torah, Misachekes b'chol eis, that it's all time. It's still, the Torah is still called Misachekes. What does it mean? Misachekes. Misachekes, the Rebbe will explain that it shows that at the end of the day, everything that we see as being a yesh, an entity, it's only a show. It's only, the real thing is only the Eibishter. There's only Ayah. And this is a disguising. It's a show, like you, Rebbe says, you play, you bring in, the Rebbe doesn't say so clearly, but you bring in a magician and he creates something. And you see, this is just a play, because really there is no entity over there. It's just magic. So all the world that we're looking is just a misachekes. But it's not really. It's not real. What is the idea? What is the level of schaik? That is to take the yesh and turn it into ayin, which means that instead of the world looking as it is an entity, is the laughter becomes by taking this yesh and making it what looks like an entity, looks like a metzius, making the ayin. The Pasuk says, "Tzchoik osoli elikim." Over there, elikim that blocks the light makes it into a tzchoik, because it shows as if there is a yesh, because elikim blocks on the Or Havaya, and elikim makes it into a joke, because then we take the yesh and we make it ayin, pirush. Kishem elikim hamaylim umastir oirin sobaruch. For the shame elikim that blocks and obscures the light of the blessing of the Sof, so that the world should appear like an entity as something separate from Hashem, and it should not cease to exist, to be nullified from its existence, like the ray of the sun is bottom the shemesh. So we should not be that way. So then we have the Shem Elikim. So why does the Eibishter do this? This is a joke that's going to be at the end. So the whole Shem Elikim, the whole creation, that it looks like a Metzias, an entity, that we are separate from Hashem, it's like a big joke. Because at the end of everything, because at the end, it'll all turn back, that the yesh will be batul dayin, and it would be revealed, the glory in front of everybody. The yesh, that this Shem Elikim that blocks and obscures, that it should appear as a yesh, it'll be a villain. This is just like a joke that you make in front of the celebrities, in front of the officers, so that you make changes, strange things. So you laugh, you joke with it. Makes it into an entity, like a magic trick, to create something. And then you have the yesh, batlai. So when you make vasiyas gilu hayesh and making the revelation to bring about the yesh, that's considered strange. It's only a joke. It's only a laughter. It's entertainment. Also lost love. Last is Kenigil Tzadikim. It says Hashem will make a circus for the Tzadikim. So the Torah participates and reveals basically the joke that it's not really a yesh, it's not really a separate entity. So v'hinei gilui v'chinas bitla yesh le'ayin. So we say in the future, we'll say that it'll all become subjugated. The yesh will be batla da'ayin. Why they are Torah? That is through the Torah, which is drawing down the light of the Blessed Ein Sof in physical matters, which is under the dominance of the Klibas Neiga, to elevate them, and to tie them to the light of Hashem in His and its kedusha. And that's the level of bit yesh light. That's why we call it misachekes in all times. Hainu gam al yidei iskafia. Not only when it's hapcha, when it will be lost in love, when it will be the real bittul completely, but also now when we are subdue ourselves, we still get that great light that Yemincha, that Eir Hashem, Eir Kamoyim Torah. Zo bechinas beinunim. And this is the average person, because we haven't yet transformed ourselves. They're both there. We have both times. We have yesh b'hem mishneitim. In other words, in their experience, in their davening, in their avodah, they have both times. The time of davening is eis lechabed. He's connected to Hashem. And we're saying that through iskafia, you also get it at level of the time of God. And then finally, in the pasuk, it also says, "Mesachekes b'tevel arze," that it plays, it makes, it rejoices, it's choik, it brings laughter. B'tevel arze. What is the b'tevel arze? Tevel is based on Aryeh. Tevel is 432, the word Tevel. And Aryeh is 216. So 2 times 216 is 432. So what does it mean that it does in the 2 levels of Aryeh? Yesh Aryeh b'chayis hakodesh, v'yesh Aryeh b'efanim. You have the level of Aryeh in the chayis hakodesh, and you also have in the level of efanim. Chayis is b'chinas yitzira. Chayis, that's the chayis hakodesh. That's in the level of yitzira. We say that the shit sfirin, the kananon, that's the 6 spheres are nested in Yitzira. Those are the 6 orders of the Mishnah. It's the number 6. That means that's a level of tambadas, it's a level of grasping. Because this is Yitzira. Chayis HaKodesh, also the Chayis HaKodesh, which are in Yitzira, Avosam Hivichinas Tamvadas. Their love is in a way of reason and understanding. When we say Aryeh Shoyeg, we have the lion that roars. Why does the lion roar over there? It's Machmas HaKosom. Because they are understanding. Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. Hashem Tzvaka is that Hashem Tzvaka is Kodesh. Eich Shehu Muvdal, Kodesh Hu Muvdal. How Hashem is holy and is separated. And from this level of Shulchinas Kodesh, Kodesh Hu Muvdal, She'enei Begeder Omim, which is not in the definition of the word, Nimshach L'Ribui Tzvois Veicholis, that extends to so many armies and rooms, Ad Shegam, the Mata Molekol, till also below the world was full with the glory from the level of Kodesh. And therefore, they make a great lot of noise for the powerful holiness from such a place, so that it extends from the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu to vitalize the world. Still, that level is separate, it's holy and distinguished. Not like similar to the soul which is dressed in the body, still remains aloof. That's the Chayis HaKodesh, that's Yitzira. But the Ifanim Heim B'chinas Asiyah, they're in the level of Asiyah. She'ein Lam B'chinas Tam V'das V'asog G'delu B'nei Sof Baruch Hu Chayis HaKodesh. They don't have such an understanding, a reasoning, and a knowledge, and a grasping, a great grasping in their Chayis HaKodesh. Ba'ava B'keina Yet Heim Mar'ishim Machmas Ava Tivishlav, and they still make all this noise because of the natural love, not because of a love that they can comprehend, but it's an inherent, built-in love to Hashem, which causes them to make all this great excitement. So Misachekes B'Tevel, Beis Pormim Aryeh. Says it Misachekes and Tevel in the 2 places, 2 times Aryeh. Beis B'chinas Aryeh, or B'chinas Misachekes. In both level of Aryeh, it is in the level of Misachekes. Bein B'chinas Aryeh Sheb'chayis HaKodesh, whether it's the level of the lion, which is the Chayis HaKodesh, Yitzira, Bein B'chinas Aryeh Sheb'efanim, which is an Asiyah. So it says, Kimoshi is based B'chinas Malachim Chayis B'efanim. So just like we have these 2 levels, the Malachim, the Chayis B'efanim, Kach yesh beis b'chinas b'nei Adam sheich namato. there's also the similar two levels in the human beings that rest below. There's one that reflects in the greatness of Hashem. When he reads the Shema, he says, Shema Yisrael. What is the meaning? Listen, Israel. Shema means Lashon Havana, means understand. And then you have the Echad. When it says Echad, and through this meditation, then it comes to the observance of a hafta. With all your soul, mamish. The Barta Bom, says you should speak in them, speak in the words of Torah. Bom means b'divrei Torah. In a level of subjugating, yesh to the ayin, to the level of ani hamishna. To have the Mishnah speaking through your mouth, or the other pasuk dvar some to be ficho, or my words that I placed in your mouth. So who is this level? The those are the Talmidei Chachamim that occupy the Torah. Shita Sidra Mishnah, the sixth order of the Mishnah. Shehem Yitzira, they're in level of Yitzira. Yesh Misheni Yochel Ilmei. There is someone who can't learn. His mind is short. And he's also occupied in business. He comes from the level of Asiyah. He too can roar like the lion of the Efanim. Through the simple meaning of Echad, which is that Hashem alone is He. And also to Him through this extend both because in every love there is the natural love. How do they merit this revelation? Through the tzedakah. Shenikra Maisa. Tzedakah is referred to as Maisa, action. The pasuk says, "V'hoya Maisa tzedakah shalom," the act of tzedakah. And this, through that, they cause and they bring down that the bechinas misameches achekes b'teivel artzoi. To bring down the level of the light and the playfulness from the Supreme, also through their simple avodah. As the pasuk says, "Kamayim aponim leponim kim leva odam." Pirush. That just like the water, so is the water's face. The face shows the heart of man. So the heart of man. Pirush ki yesh beis b'chinas odam. There is still levels of odam. When we talk about the Malachim, which is the Bnei Arya, it says the Mus Pneihem, Bnei Odom. The image was Odom. It's one level of Odom. Yes, because it's Odom Lamaila. Then there's a higher level of Odom, in which it says, well, the Mus Hakisei, the Mus Kimare Odom. The Hainu, Ramach mitzvahs aseh, v'shasal mitzvahs loisaseh, and that's the level of Adam over there, because a human being is made up of all these limbs. And through turning the face to the face, that we are in a way facing from below to above. So we are bringing down, we want to bring down the Primus Elyon. So the Lev of the Adam Elyon Shabakise, which is on the throne of B'chinas HaTorah, Ramach Mitzvahs Esed, to bring it down, L'Odom HaTacht Shebemalachim, to the lower level of Adam, which we said the muspanem kimare odom, the malachim, the muspanem. So over here it teaches kin leva odom, ela odom, the level of the odom of alakise to the odom which is by the malachim, and through our facing Hashem with our pnimius, that's how we bring down the pnimius from Hashem into all these madregas. Zeu shakosu v'shashua is b'nei odom, and beis b'chinas odmanah. Those are the two levels of the odom ala kisei, and the musmarei odom from the malachim. Lias hamshach k'mayim abmon upon him, that it should be drawn down just like we showed the Eibush that the mayim upon him. When is the marriage? It's Matan Torah. Because that means that there is a marriage. So there is the one, the mashpia, and the recipient. No drop from the rain will come down. First it has to go up. So first you have the Asherus Latata. First you have the Kamayim upon him. And then you are goyim the Hamshocha in all levels of Odom, in Shashu Ibn Odom, and you bring down the level of Tainug Elyon.